Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and welcome back to World of Crendor. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time actually. It's been like months. And I stopped because I kept getting a lot of the same questions and it got kind of like blah, but I think it's been gone long enough that I can bring it back and there's new people. And if I do answer some of the same questions, there's a bunch of new people, so it'll be like, oh, I haven't heard that before. So, if you did email me a question to worldofcrendor@gmail.com, you could email it again, because I had over 1,000 inbox unread emails in my World of Crendor inbox. So, if you want your question answered and you emailed it a while ago, email it again, okay? Okay. First question. Hello, Crendor. My question is a mix of LoL and WoW because the problem exists in both of their communities. There are so many douchebags in both of them, complaining, whining, yelling at you or others, etc. All while we just try to play and have fun. For example, I ran an instance with my girlfriend and one guy kept yelling at her about how she wasn't doing good enough damage even though it was normal SFK. In LoL, I constantly get people pointing out my mistakes even though when I point out theirs, they just get angry and yell at me. How do you go about dealing with these types of people that love to bring you down with their negativity? Your fan, Crendorian, Kevin. Crendorian, I like that. I like it. Crendorian. Anyway, this is gonna require some water. This is probably the biggest problem with the communities of these games. LoL I think it's worse than WoW, but that's because you're in a very competitive environment where people are just like, rah, do this, do that, we got blah blah. While instances, I honestly consider WoW more laid back, where like you can kind of just, just hit some buttons and just cruise through the instance, while like LoL's more like, what are you doing? You're not last hitting. Pay attention. Blah. So, for WoW, there's always gonna be those people that are like, oh, I'm good at this game, and then you'll like he'll be running on an alt or something, and you'll be running with your girlfriend who maybe is like new at the game, and he's gonna be like, oh, stupid noobs, I'm good at this game, which, you're not gonna change that person. You just you gotta deal with it. That's life. That's life, son. That's life, son. You get a box of chocolates and you eat them and then they're gone. That makes no sense, or it's not even relevant to what I'm saying, but I just felt like saying it. And this is my show and I'll do what I want to do. So, you kind of just gotta deal with those people. You could just ignore him, and then, or you could kick him if he's a super douchebag and everyone will be like, yeah, he's gone. But, as for LoL, I mean, LoL, the part of the problem with LoL is people have their egos in LoL, their E-peens, and when somebody has theirs, it's very easy to criticize other people. I've learned this in LoL. There's even a video of me where I raged. Granted, I was fed and I was like doing extremely well and then our team lost and I just like went crazy. But I've progressed to a point where I'm either trying to be positive, or I'm like, I don't say anything. I stop talking. I'm just like, I don't care anymore. And I notice with a lot of people this does happen. It's like, they'll be like, oh, stupid jungle doesn't gank. And then when the jungle does gank, and they mess up or something, the jungle will be like, look, I ganked for you, and you weren't there. And they're just like, well, I was doing this. Like, now you're just, people just try to boost their egos up, so then it'll be like, you remember when you didn't gank, and then the other guy will be like, oh, remember when you couldn't last hit, and it's like, wow, this is gonna help us win the game. So, you're not gonna change people. My one friend tried to be positive. He went on a positivity streak. He's just like, hey guys, let's be positive. It rarely worked. One time he was like, let's be positive, and they were just like, oh my god, this guy was the feeder from last game, we lost. He's like, hey, maybe he'll be better this game, and he was like, I'll be his feeder. And of course, the guy who was complaining did bad, and the guy who was supposedly the feeder did well, so That's blah. That's the gaming world. Welcome to gaming world. Nice to meet you. My name's Angry Person with an Ego. Okay? Okay. Next question. Hey Crendor, I don't know if you still do your Q&A, but I have a question that has recently been brought up again. What is your point of view of video games being considered a work of art? Many people say that they should not be compared, that games are one thing and art is another. On the other hand, some debate that they are a work of art due to the special effects, design, and storytelling that are implemented. What do you think? From David. Well, David, I've heard this before, and to me, art is expression of oneself. And when people, they look at things, they're like, that's a work of art, man. It's a work of art. It's, I don't know. Some things people consider art just because it's weird. Like Lady Gaga wearing weird things. Like, on one end, it could be considered art, and on another end, it could just be considered a publicity stunt to make money. So, I don't know. I don't really like to look at Hollywood and all that stuff for art. I like to look at actual smaller people's art, or actual artists that have made things art. So I think art is when you look at something and you can see that person's, or you can feel what that person was feeling when they made what they made. Does any of that make sense? So it's almost like YouTube, like how people have different styles, and you can see their styles and their personality come out in their video. So, to me, that's art. So I think you can have artistic video games, because when you play the game, when you see the design and the special effects and the storytelling that are in the game, you're feeling the emotion and the passion that went into that game from those people that created it, because they put whatever, what's the word I'm looking for, they put their creativity into something and created it. So I think that is art. And you could look at really bad games and you can see that there wasn't a lot of creativity or passion put into those things, and you can tell that it's pretty bad art. So that's how I look at art. So I think that yes, video games can be considered art. Okay? Okay. Now time for the LOL question. Who, in your opinion, is the best support? / what do you think about Karma Lulu? Also, I was extremely enthusiastic when I heard you were bringing back WoCrendor. Thank you for your thoughtful opinions and your random rambles. Tiger Alchemist, you are welcome, and I will and my throat clearing. I will randomly ramble as much as I can, because I like to randomly ramble. So, oh yeah, support. Who's the best support? I think the best support's Soraka. Soraka is so good. You have your heal, you have your AoE heal, and then you can give your person mana. You can give whoever on your team mana, and it's really strong with people like Graves that require mana. And who else? Tariq's a really good support, especially as somebody like Sivir or Misfortune. Lulu is actually a really good support with somebody like Tristana. I like Lulu a lot. Lulu's really fun to play. I've played her going mid as well, and I did really well playing mid as Lulu. I beat a Mordekaiser, I beat Cassiopeia twice, and I beat an Ahri. So I mean, she's actually really strong. She has good offensive power. Her only problem as a support is she has no heal, so you have to be either really aggressive and get kills, or you have to be conservative and not get hit. So that's why it works well with Tristana, because you can use her ability that makes it so like you don't get healed as much. I don't know, I don't really play Tristana, I just know things about her. And then you can harass really well, because Lulu's slow is amazing. It's amazing slow. It's like 80%, it's crazy. And she can also polymorph and speed up people, and it's awesome. And her ult goes really well with like Warwick, where Warwick will just ult in and then you ult on him and it's just like boom, it's crazy. So Karma, Karma's not really good. A lot of people try to be like, hey, is Karma good yet? And it's like, no, Karma's just not good. She has a lot of problems. Anyway, yeah, I'd say the best support is Soraka, though. Soraka is really good. Okay? Okay. Next question. Starks or Lannisters? From Tom. Well, if you don't know what this is, it's Game of Thrones. And, honestly, I like Tyrion Lannister. I like Tyrion Lannister because he's very sarcastic and witty, and he's probably my favorite character in the whole thing. And I hate the rest of the Lannisters, obviously. And the Starks are, I like them, but it's kind of like, they're kind of like the good guys. Like, there are no real good guys, but I feel like they're the good guys, because they're like, we're for honor, and yeah, being humble. And it's kind of like, I guess I like you, but Tyrion Lannister is probably my favorite. I love any part with Tyrion Lannister. So yeah. Okay, okay. And the final question. My question is, why do you always keep apologizing to us? I understand that there are those fans who are like, where are my videos? I demand them. But I feel that you apologize too often. You are, after all, a human being, and it is understandable that there can be a lack of motivation. I think it is more important to create videos only when you are motivated and you do things to have fun, that you have fun with. As a fan, I feel that your happiness and mental state of being are priority over that of my own personal enjoyment. Thank you for your time, Steve. Well, Steve, I like you. And, I don't know, it's an interesting situation because, let me get comfortable, drink some water. Because, getting motivated to make videos it's different from a lot of things, because you go through your whole life and you get told what to do. You get told by your parents to like, do this, do that, do it, and blah blah. Then you go to school and you're like, the teacher's like, do your homework, dude, come to class, do this, do that. Then you go to your job and your boss is like, do this, do that, do your work, blah blah, do clock in, clock out, whatever. But with the YouTube, and when you work for yourself, it's anybody that works for themselves can probably relate to this. It's so easy to get lazy. It's so easy to be like, hey, I can play video games right now. It's like, I don't actually have to do work, but granted, there's a difference between not being motivated because you hate your job or what you do, and not being motivated because you're just lazy. And I feel like, to me, it's just I get lazy, and I try to, like, rekindle the fire, or re-spark the fire, and I'll, like, go back and watch old videos that I've made, and that usually does it. Or I'll read emails, or PMs, and stuff like that, and that'll usually work. But the hardest part is to just get back. You have to make it into a habit. You have to, like, that's why a lot of people do schedules for making videos. But a lot of people have been doing Let's Plays now, and you've probably seen that. A lot of people make Let's Plays. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Let's Plays, but a lot of people think it's easier than it is. It's like, oh, I'll just sit down and record and play this game, and there you go, it's Let's Play. But there's so many average Let's Plays, and I don't know, to me, Let's Plays are filler content. There's some people that can make it their main content, like Jesse. Jesse does pretty much like all Let's Plays, but his personality and his voice and, you know, you want to watch him play the game, and it's like, whoa, I want to watch Jesse play that because it's, you know, it's his personality, you know? And when you watch somebody that's average, I'm not saying average is bad, but average is boring. And a vast majority of Let's Plays are boring. And that's a problem. Especially when you're trying to create entertainment for people. And you don't want to tell people. Like, there's a difference between being bad, being average, and being entertaining. And the problem is all these average people are, maybe they're actually good at it, but they make average content. They make average videos, and then you don't tell people about average things. That's the point I'm trying to get across. You don't go to the store and be like, oh man, I totally went to the store and it was really average. You know, I walked around and got groceries. That's what happened. It was pretty average. People will be like, wow, cool, that's boring. You go to the store and either you tell people about really crazy bad things like Rebecca Black and Friday, like, oh my god, I went to the store and there was this car accident and like smashed into the wall, it was like boom. Or you tell them about really good things like, whoa, I went to the store and they just got a crazy sushi bar and it's like crazy. Like, that's what you tell people about. And when you watch videos that are average, it's boring. You don't want to show your friends, you don't want to watch more of them. And that's what a lot of people get caught up in. And I've wandered off the question a lot. I've wandered off the question a lot. But I talked about motivation, and I talked about my Let's Play problem. Which, I mean, a lot of people don't like my Let's Plays. I don't really care. I make Let's Plays because it's filler content, and I haven't made a WoW machinima in a while, and that's why I always feel obligated to make a video, and I'll kind of slow down the videos until I make a machinima. Like, I'm like, I haven't made an actual video in a while, because I consider that my main content. It's like the turkey on Thanksgiving. All the other videos are the side dishes. Then the main videos, even like how to win at League of Legends, or I don't know, I could do that for any game, honestly. Doesn't have to be WoW or LOL. And that's the turkey. It's the turkey. Anyway, I think it answered your question. It may have just been me rambling, but either way, there you go. Okay? Okay. And that's it for World of Crendor. If you have a question, you can email that question into worldofcrendor@gmail.com, and it may get answered on next week's episode. Yay! Okay? Okay. See ya!